Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am so excited to jump into this with you today because we're going on a seriously fascinating journey. We are going to explore the mysterious, totally unindexed layers of the internet that literally exist right beneath our fingertips. The internet has completely revolutionized human civilization, right? It connects billions of us. But today we're looking at a deeply secretive network that reflects both the absolute best of our freedoms and, well, the much darker side of human behavior. So let's just peel back the layers of the online world and find out exactly what's hiding in the shadows. To kick things off, we actually need to shatter a pretty massive illusion. Most of the internet is completely invisible to search engines like Google. Think about it. When you spend your day browsing YouTube, Googling random questions, scrolling through Instagram, or doing some online shopping, it feels like you've got the entire digital world right there on your screen. But actually, those familiar sites represent just a tiny, tiny fraction of the internet. The vast majority of it is completely out of sight. Okay, let's dive into this. The internet is basically divided into layers. Up top, we have the surface web. This is the visible stuff, the public websites, blogs, and news platforms that get indexed by search engines. But right below that, we have the deep web. Now, I know deep web sounds super sketchy and mysterious, but you literally use it every single day. The deep web is just content that isn't indexed by search engines. We're talking your private emails, your online banking portals, medical records, Netflix subscriptions, all of that. It's totally safe and honestly absolutely essential for our daily digital lives. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. So, what exactly is the dark web? If the surface web is public and the deep web is just normal, unindexed private data, where does the dark web even fit in? Well, the dark web is a very small, intentionally secretive section of the deep web that is totally hidden from the rest of the world. You literally cannot stumble onto it by accident while messing around on Google. It requires specific intent and special software to even get your foot in the door. So how do people actually get there? The most common tool is a browser called Tor, which actually stands for the Onion Router. Tor works by hiding your identity and location. It takes your internet traffic and essentially bounces it through multiple servers all over the globe. It wraps your connection in layer after layer of encryption, like an onion, right? Making it extremely difficult for anyone to trace your activity. And here's a wild fact for you. The Tor project was actually originally developed by the United States Navy to protect confidential government communications. And because it was built from the ground up for absolute privacy, the dark web actually serves a very real noble purpose. In countries with incredibly strict censorship or oppressive regimes, this kind of anonymity is a literal lifeline. You've got journalists using it to protect confidential sources. Political activists rely on it to dodge intense government surveillance. Whistleblowers can anonymously share vital information without blowing their cover. A lot of privacy and human rights groups strongly defend these networks because at the end of the day, they protect vulnerable people who just want basic freedom of speech. But, as you can probably guess, wherever you find absolute unbreakable privacy, criminals are definitely going to follow. Let's look at the timeline. It all started with the US Navy developing Tor for secure comms. But fast forward to 2011 and boom, we see the launch of Silk Road. This was a massively infamous online black market. People were buying illegal drugs, fake IDs, hacking tools, the whole shebang. It completely exploded because users could pay with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which offered a level of anonymity that traditional banks just couldn't touch. Eventually, years later, the FBI did manage to track it down, shut the whole thing down, and arrest the founder. But this timeline perfectly captures how tools designed for ultimate privacy were almost immediately hijacked for illegal businesses. Section 1. Real risks for casual users. The unseen dangers of the shadows. Now, we all know exactly where the curiosity about all this comes from. Popular culture often portrays the dark web as this hidden world full of elite assassins, secret underground organizations, and horrifying content. Movies, TV shows, and internet forums have turned it into this sensationalized Hollywood thriller. People hear these wildly exaggerated and honestly sometimes completely made-up stories, and naturally their curiosity just takes over. They kind of want to play detective and peek into this secret digital underworld for themselves. But here is the very sobering reality that cybersecurity experts desperately want you to know. Visiting the dark web just out of casual curiosity is a phenomenally bad idea. You are incredibly more likely to infect your device with nasty malware or literally have your money stolen than you are to uncover some top secret spy ring. There are countless websites down there specifically engineered to infect your computer or phone the absolute second you click on them. Experts constantly warn against poking around without serious technical knowledge and heavy security precautions, because trust me, the risks completely wipe out whatever curiosity you might have. Now, what's really interesting about this is that the actual threats you face aren't glamorous or cinematic at all. It's just devastating cybercrime. Hackers are constantly setting up extremely convincing financial scams to trick curious visitors into handing over their crypto. Malicious software or malware is absolutely everywhere. You've got hackers openly selling stolen passwords and personal data harvested from massive corporate data breaches. You can literally just go buy a ransomware attack or a ready-to-use phishing kit. If you wander onto the wrong site, you are serving yourself up on a silver platter to these cybercriminals, not to mention exposing yourself to potential legal trouble, since law enforcement is heavily monitoring these exact spaces. It really boils down to this contrast. The Hollywood myth promises elite secret assassins and shadowy spy networks. But the harsh reality? The reality is just getting scammed by fake websites designed to quietly drain your Bitcoin wallet and completely trash your hard drive with a virus. Now, it's true that not everything on the dark web is illegal. Some folks just genuinely want to break from corporate data harvesting. But for the casual, everyday internet user, the landscape is basically a massive minefield rigged with traps by hackers who are just waiting for you to make one wrong click. Zooming back out for a second, let's look at the huge, macro-level battle happening here. On one side, you have law enforcement. Governments and top-tier cybersecurity experts are working around the clock to fight these illicit networks. They're using deeply advanced undercover investigations and intense blockchain analysis to trace the flow of cryptocurrency and hunt down cybercriminals. But then, on the flip side, we have the future of anonymity. Privacy tech is getting more and more sophisticated every single day, creating incredibly robust anti-surveillance tools. Especially now with the rapid rise of AI, we are essentially watching an escalating technological arms race between total anonymity and global surveillance. And that leaves us with a pretty profound question. Is the dark web a necessary tool for human freedom, or is it just a dangerous haven for crime? As we've seen from the sources we've looked at today, the truth is solidly somewhere in the middle. It's a perfect example of how tech created for absolute good, like protecting basic human rights, can also cause profound harm, fueling scams and global cybercrime. The dark web itself isn't inherently good or evil. It's really just a mirror reflecting society itself. So as you think about this delicate balance between ultimate freedom and necessary security, ask yourself, how are we going to navigate this in the future? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it brought some much-needed clarity to the shadows of the internet.